my friends. With the holiday season quickly approaching, I'm sure a lot of you are planning a trip down to your local Hermes to potentially pick up a gift for a loved one or maybe to treat yourself, which if you're contemplating getting yourself something and you're thinking, should I not? This is the sign you've been waiting for. You 1000% should. And if you're trying to plan ahead for what's to come and what you're about to see on shelves, this video is for you because today we're going to be discussing the latest and greatest Hermes bag launches, some new accessories, and even some fun but kind of random pieces that I thought you would appreciate knowing about. So without further ado, if you'd like to hear my thoughts on some new Hermes bags, accessories, and pretty much everything across the board that is worth mentioning, then make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and keep on watching. I cannot really move my arms in this jacket, but it's too late to turn back now. So let's immediately dive in and talk about some of the latest Hermes launches, which this video is by no means going to be a holiday gift guide. If that's something that you would like to see from me, just let me know in the comment section or give this video a thumbs up. It's something that I would be happy to do for you. But this first piece would make an amazing gift if you have a homebody in your life, if you have someone who's just recently moved or who's just recently renovated. This is definitely something that you could treat them to, which is a new blanket design from Hermes, which is actually quite similar to the iconic Avalon blankets in terms of the composition, the way it looks and feels, except it has a much more ornate print to it, which is the so-called Grand Tralala blanket, which is of course inspired by the brand's equestrian heritage, as most pieces that we see from Hermes. And this actually has this really unique kind of over-the-top ornate print to it, which I think would suit a lot of people. It's quite different from that sort of geometric print that you're most often used to seeing from Hermes. This is a lot more out there and kind of loud. It's inspired by some of the ceremonial harnesses that horses wore back in the day. And yes, it is definitely a really elaborate, over-the-top embellished print, which is not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but if you have a silk lover in your life, this is something that I believe they would very much enjoy, because this exact same print was previously available on silk scarves. So if you have someone in your life who loves something a little bit more out there, this would be a great addition to their collection. Obviously from Hermes, because you could go to Versace, you could go to Fendi, who also have home ranges. But if they love Hermes and if you love Hermes, this might be something different that they haven't necessarily seen before. And even though the print itself is a little bit more over elaborate, it does come in a wide range of different shades. So if you want to go for something a little bit more subtle, it does come in some neutral shades. But then on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, there are some really loud poppy shades like bright yellow, so you can definitely go crazy with this particular blanket. And of course there's going to be a matching pillow too. And speaking of silk lovers, there's another another piece that has just been updated with a silk inspired print, which, believe it or not, is the beloved Covey card case. So if you love the Covey, if you collect Coveys, you'll be happy to hear that there are 3 new designs for the upcoming fall winter season, each one of which has a different print on it that are inspired by cards. And I believe the cards that they are inspired by, the prints that these Coveys come with, are by an artist who did the Valentine's Day scarves a couple of years ago, if I'm not mistaken. So if you love those scarves that were insanely popular, you'll be happy to see that there are some matching Covey card holders that you can pick up now, which obviously have the same aesthetic. So you have 3 different characters that you can choose from. I think there's a jockey, obviously, which makes sense. It's right up Hermes' alley. I think there is a pilot, and then sort of an Amelia Earhart character. And then when I first saw these, I remember seeing pictures of these a while ago. I thought that the third person or the third character was the Mad Hatter, but I had a closer look at it now, and it seems like it's a cowboy, sort of a cowboy, but the cowboy is actually a horse. So it's definitely sort of an uncanny, weird character. But if you're into these whimsical, fun pieces, I think you would love any one of these. And interestingly, even though the characters are quite colorful and fun, the base colors of the Coveys are definitely really muted and really popular shades, to be honest. So I think you can choose from 3 different shades in this collection. You can choose from Nata, Chai, and Blue Prum, all of which have been insanely popular shades. So if you already have a wide range of different colorways, or if you have someone in your life who collects colorways, this is definitely something that I think they would very much appreciate. And it seems like we cannot do a What's New from Hermes update without mentioning at least a couple of pieces in the teddy finish. If you didn't know, I do these What's New from Hermes videos on a regular basis, so I have an entire playlist dedicated to these What's New from Hermes updates. So if you have not seen them and you'd like to catch up, make sure to have it linked up here and also in the info box for you. And we've been talking about these teddy pieces what feels like for years now, even though I think these have become really big in the past couple of seasons. But anyway, I have some new pieces to share with you. So if you're looking to buy something from the men's collection, there are a couple new Izmir sandals in a teddy finish in shearling. I remember seeing them in an off-white ivory color and then in like a cognac dark chocolate brown. So if you're looking for some house slippers, those might be a cute addition to the collection. I have to admit I much prefer these to the sheep sandals, which I bought myself, just because I wasn't the biggest fan of those thick, sort of orthopedic looking soles. If you're looking to buy something that you can wear at home and also outside, I think the Izmirs are a little bit more streamlined. I think that's the best way to put it. And then if you're looking to buy something from their women's collection, not that you couldn't buy an Izmir, but the Izmir sandals tend to be a little bit wider. So you have to keep that in mind, which honestly could make them a little bit more comfortable for the home, but it obviously all depends on what size you're able to find them in. But if you're looking to buy something from their women's range, there's a new bucket head in shearling, which I don't have too much information on, but I've seen it in a couple of campaigns here and there, so I'm sure it's coming, and I have no doubt it's going to be one that we'll see on social media over and over again. So we have some bags that I like more than others, and I'm not exactly sure where we should start. Should we start with the worst or should we start with the best? Why don't we start with my least favorite bag so we can get over and done with that, which is going to be a new tote bag called the Steeple 28 bag, which I'm just going to put up a picture here and you guys can tell me why I don't like this bag. You can guess in the comment section. I think it's going to be an easy guess. So let's start at the top and then move our way down and dissect this bag piece by piece, which the handles themselves I actually really like. So the handles are actually inspired by a rider's crop, which I'm sure that when you'll get the chance to see this bag in person, you'll be blown away by the craftsmanship on these handles. Handles are one of Hermes's forte. They are some of the most difficult and time-consuming parts on Hermes's bags to create. So this bag is no exception. I'm sure that the handles are just defined when it comes to the craftsmanship, even the inspiration, how they translated this essential in a stable into a bag, I think is really elegant and refined. But that's pretty much where my good review stops, because the rest of the bag is pretty much a disaster to me. So the body of this tote bag is made of the same canvas that your traditional her bags are made of, which you can pick up in either some poppy colors like the picture that I have here, which I think is Capucine, which is this bright orangey red. Or, to make matters worse, you can also buy this bag in a fully printed canvas finish. And then, again, just one more touch to make this disaster even much more of a nightmare. The bag is finished off with some blue trimming, which, I mean, I have no idea what Hermes was thinking. I'm sure that it pays homage to something that they had seen in the stable. I'm sure that perhaps it's inspired by the jumping rods or something along those lines, but that doesn't mean that those color combinations that work in a stable or in an equestrian setting will also translate nicely into a high-end fashion piece, because unless you're going to be carrying this to the stable, I don't think this is a bag that you should add to your collection, even though the handles I do love. And you also get a little charm with this bag purchase of yours. I just really think that because of the color combination, the fact that the bag is made of canvas, and just the overall look of this bag. There's nothing refined or elegant about it, and it's going to be a huge waste of money. And speaking of money, do you guys want to guess how much this bag is going to be? Well, in Europe, this bag is currently 3,500 euros, and I have not seen the prices for the US yet, but my educated guess is that it's going to be just under $5,000 before tax, so maybe 45, 46, $4,700, which to me is just mind blowing. I mean, if this bag was $500 and it was in their beach range, that would make more sense. But this bag for 3,500 euros, or my educated guess is that for around $5,000, that to me is just insane. And I'm sure that it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort to put this back together. I'm sure it takes hours for the best of the best craftsmen to create the handles. But for what this bag will add to your collection, I just really don't think it's worth the money. Imagine if this bag was made of fully leather. I think that would be a different story. If they made this bag out of some really beautiful, subtle Clemence leathers and they created a large, oversized, slouchy tote with these handles, that is definitely something that I could get behind. But in these weird colors, these weird prints, the fact that the tote bag is made of canvas, to me, it doesn't even look like a glorified tote bag. It genuinely just looks like a tote bag that you got as a gift when you bought an Hermes fragrance. So for me, this is definitely not something that I would add onto your wish list. But who am I to tell you what to buy? If you love the way it looks, if you love the little charm, if you love the handles, which I do too, and you can get on with the colors that it comes in and the fact that it is a full canvas bag, this is something that is going to be out now, and I doubt that it's something that you're going to have to fight people for. Moving on to the next bag, this is something that has just walked the wrong way, but I have already seen it pop up here and there, both in stores and online, which is not a brand new design. It's something that was inspired by a bag that was around, I want to say maybe the late 90s, early 2000s, which is the Padlock Pouch bag. It's a piece that you can either carry as a clutch bag, or it does have a handle kind of on the side, so you could carry it vertically. I always confuse vertical and horizontal, but I think when it's standing like this, it's vertical, and when it's standing like this, it's horizontal. So it's one of those bags that you can wear either way. You can either carry it as a clutch horizontally, or you can use the handle vertically, which means that you're going to have to pack your bag really carefully, because once you lift the handle, everything will turn sideways and basically everything will collect at the bottom of the bag. But let's be honest, this is not one of those bags that is the most practical. It wasn't designed with practicality in mind. It was genuinely created for the true Hermes collector, because as I mentioned, there have been bags that, similar to this, were inspired by Hermes's iconic locks, which obviously you won't be shocked after seeing this bag that of course it pays tribute to the lock that you get with most of your Hermes bag purchases. So it is what this piece is inspired by, as well as some of the previous bags that I think were called, I think that collection was called the Cadena bag collection, which, if I remember correctly, included a beautiful hard-shell trunk that was truly a collector's piece. It's something that you can still find at auctions, but it's unbelievably expensive. I mean, these bags usually you can pick up, they do come both in regular leather and exotic skins, but even a regular leather piece I think would set you back around $40,000 at auction. But I do know, well, I have seen it pop up on Fashion File at much more reasonable prices. So if this is something that you're interested in, if you are a true collector, this is something that I would recommend that you look into. So if they have it available now online, I'll try to link it down below for you, because it is definitely a really unique piece. And it's also a piece that was available in suede. And if you've been with me for a while, you'll be familiar with my love affair with suede. But that was one of the pieces in this collection. There was also a messenger bag that was similarly inspired by the iconic Hermes locks. And I want to say there was also a little clutch bag, which wasn't as heavily influenced by the padlock as some of these bags, but I think it just featured a little lock mechanism. So it was a collection that was around, I mean, decades ago at this point, but as most pieces, it has been revived by Hermes in this new shape, and I definitely think that they did a good job updating it for the 21st century. Now, again, this is not a bag for everyday use. This is truly for the Hermes collector, or if you want something really, really special in your life, this is something that is out and about now. I'm not exactly sure when it will hit most boutiques, but if you're interested in this bag, I would suggest putting in a request for this bag with your boutique. And I want to say that it was, or it's going to be around 5,000 euros. I think it only comes in one leather, at least I've only seen it in Cadillac so far, but I wouldn't be surprised if this, similar to the original bags, popped up in exotic skins at 1.2. And last but not least, let's talk about a bag that I have no doubt is going to sell out before it ever hits shelves, which is nothing foreign to Hermes. That's the case with most Hermes bags, but this is going to be, I mean, as popular as a bag can possibly get, because as soon as this bag popped up on the website, I cannot tell you, I couldn't count how many DMs I got, how many messages I got from my friends asking for my thoughts on this piece, which is the new Hermes In-the-Loop bucket bag. So the In-the-Loop collection is nothing new. It is the same collection. Do you guys remember that belt bag that I wanted to buy from Hermes? Was it last Christmas or the Christmas before that I wanted that bag? So it's in the same collection. It's the same collection as the Shantung basket bag that was around. Oh my god, I mean, that bag was supposed to be introduced in 2020, and then I think it got pushed to 2021. So there have been several different bags that had the same Shantung inspiration to them, which usually I'm a big fan of anything and everything Shantung. This bag, I don't know, is a little frumpy in my opinion, but if you love the Picotin, this is something you will love too, because it is a really similar shape and idea to the Picotin bag, which I'm not sure if I've ever done an in-depth review on the Picotin. If you would like me to do that, let me know in the comment section. I would be happy to walk you through the history of the Picotin bag, what it's all about, the different sizes that it comes in, and my overall thoughts on this bag and how I personally like to style the Picotin bag, or how I would if I wore it more often. But anyway, getting back to the In-the-Loop bag, it is a similar idea to the Picotin, except it's a little bit more well thought out and it's a little bit more elevated, because it features these Shantung inspired patchwork handles. So the body of the bag, the body of the In-the-Loop bag is made of clemence, and then the handles are made of swift, and so is the base of the bag, which one of the biggest differences between this and the Picotin is that the Picotin will have little feet on the bottom, whereas this bag will have this beautiful, honestly unbelievably crafted Shantung inspired base, just so the clemence leather, which is a really soft leather, doesn't actually touch the floor or wherever you decide to rest your bag. So you do have to keep that in mind, that this bag is not going to come with feet. If you find it really important to have feet on your bag, this is not a bag for you. But unlike the Picotin, this bag actually has a pocket on the inside, which I think is going to be life-changing if you don't have an insert in your Picotin, which I definitely think you should. But if you don't, and you rely on organizing the bag as it is, I think having a little pocket in the In-the-Loop bag will be unbelievably beneficial, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. So if you're looking for a new casual everyday bucket bag that you can carry to the grocery store, which is what I would do with this bag is out now. And I almost forgot that the fastening is also really special. So on the inside of the bag, you do have this almost jewelry-like Shantung inspired clasp, which is my favorite detail on this bag. So it is definitely a beautifully designed, well thought out bag. Personally, I'm not a bucket bag kind of guy. It's not my favorite shape, but if you are, this should be out now. And I think it comes in two different sizes, in either 18 or 24, in a huge range of different colors. I mean, there's pretty much no color under the sun that this bag wouldn't come in. So whether you're a neutral fan or you're more into your poppy bright shades, you should be able to find this bag. So what do I think about this bag? It really depends on your overall style and what you're looking for. If you're looking for a casual, everyday bucket style bag, I much prefer this to the Picotin. But is it something that I'm going to run out to spend my own money on? Definitely not. Friends, this brings us to the end of today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed hearing about the latest Hermes bag and accessory launches. Please let me know in the comment section what you think about these pieces. Do you have a favorite? Do you have a least favorite? Are you adding any one of these to your own wish list? Please let me know your thoughts, and also if you have any experience, any personal experience with any one of these pieces, I would love to know what you think. And while you're down there, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I really appreciate you being here and watching, and I hope to see you back here with a new video really soon.